everybody, and hello, all my crazy puzzle friends. I apologize for the stream before. We were having some technical issues with the audio. I do appreciate you all being patient with me. I decided, why wait till later this weekend? I'm just going to do it now. We got everything fixed. So, again, thank you all for joining me again. So, recap for any of those who missed the first stream, we are still working on our Scooby-Doo puzzle. We are working on our edge pieces. Very, very excited about this puzzle. I love Scooby-Doo. I know this puzzle is going to be a little difficult only because it's all the same color on most of the puzzle. It's all this yellow. And when it comes to this yellow, it does have some designs on it that should make it a little easier, but the designs are very faint, so it's hard to tell what is what while we're making the puzzle. So I also just wanted to go ahead and just let you all know that I am using my Ravensburger sort and stacking trays to kind of just keep all my puzzle pieces organized so I know what I'm working with so I don't kind of get them mixed up. I have my edge pieces here. I have all the rest of the yellow pieces I'm going to use for my puzzle. As you see, there are quite a lot of yellow pieces, and this is what I think is going to be the most difficult part of our puzzle. I also have other pieces that have yellow on them, but we also have some color. So I know it's going to be this inside, this border with the yellow. So I kind of separated all this on its own also to make it easier while we're going along. And of course I have just some other color groups. Brown, of course, for Scooby. And then I have like all the shades of peach and hair colors. So I know these are for the people. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get to it. I am going to go ahead and start what I'm going to do is I'm looking for those edges that will go ahead and go together, or the pieces that will go together. So I am putting all my edges out. So you can go ahead and connect them and find their pair. For me, it's easier while I'm working to kind of pair them up. See here we have one that's not an edge, so I'm gonna put that in my tray with just our yellow pieces. And let's go ahead and just take all these out. There we go. So now we have all our edge pieces that I did kind of separate in my first live, and we're going to go ahead and look for our pairs. As you can see, lots of these do have markings that we know are going to go together. We have some writing, we have some symbols, we have hot dogs, we have a pizza here. So we know kind of what we're looking for its pair because we know what item it is. Here we have some more lettering. We have this bubble lettering as well. So I am just going to kind of go ahead and just see what I'm looking for. What I like about puzzles is it kind of gets your brain working. Like, okay, I know I'm looking for this piece. How do I know what piece it is? Like for this one. For the next piece, we know it's going to be something that only has one notch. It's not going to be anything that has two, or kind of it's not going to have like a weird shape. We know it's going to be something shaped like this one with one notch. So that's why I like puzzles. Get your brain working. Especially me, I'm very forgetful. Puzzles do help keep my brain sharp, or as I like to think that they keep my brain sharp. Here. So now I got them all out, I am going to get my box, which I'm using as my guide. I can see exactly what I'm looking for. The puzzle did come with this little guide to help. For me, it's too little. I already wear glasses as it is, so this is hard for me to see. So I'm using the box. So this, sorry, excuse me. So I'm looking at the edges to see, okay, what am I looking for? That is actually how I found this one. I knew I was looking for that N symbol, which we have here, and it's the only one at the edge. So I know, okay, it's going to be here. And I just kind of guided myself along the edge, and that's how I was able to find the rest. So that's what I'm just using my box as my guide as we go through. So here we did find Boo, found another one here. I see this one is a donut. So I want to look for anything that will kind of go with the donut to kind of get its pair. Looking. Here we have another piece of a donut. And the only thing when you separate the puzzles is you're like, I really hope I didn't miss a piece. And it's in that stack of puzzle pieces. That always happens to me. I get the whole edge going, and then I'll notice, okay, I am missing a few pieces. And then you find out, okay, well, I'm not missing these pieces. It's just I did not take them out of my pile when I was separating in the beginning. So here also we have a few pieces that have that writing that we see, like the copyright. So I know these are going to go together eventually at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and put those to the side. I do know those will be grouped together. Hello, Stacy. I'm glad you joined. Thank you. And for those of you who missed the technical difficulty first stream we did, I'm just going to go ahead and show you all my awesome gloves. I love these. These are Pride and Prejudice gloves. They have some writing from the book, one of my favorite stories. And here it is a little chilly, so I do like to keep my hands warm. So shout out to my gloves. So let's go ahead and keep working. So we have something like this that we really don't know what it is. I do like to just come to my box or my guide, sometimes it'll be the poster, and see, okay, like what do I see that looks like this, that I could be like, okay, that's what it is. And sometimes you really don't know. You're like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to put that to the side because I don't have any clue what that could be. To me, it looks like it is part of a pizza. So I'm gonna just put it in with our pizza pile that I'm gonna make over here. So you can go ahead and put that to the side. So we have our donuts, we have pizza. Here's another. See, here we go. So we had another piece of the puzzle. donuts, everything matches together, so I know these go together. So now I'm just looking at, you see here's another piece of a pizza. Over there with my pizza. Thank you, Monica. I love my gloves. You'll see them more often. As the winter comes, I have many different gloves, and I love them. I love gloves. Especially the older you get your old hands. Gloves will cover it. Here we go. We found yikes. So we're going to go ahead and put those together. And while I am looking for our next pair, let's go ahead and do some Scooby-Doo trivia. So when Scooby-Doo first aired, of course, a lot of us weren't around yet, but Scooby-Doo did air in 1969 on CBS. I don't know if many of you knew, but the actual show, the first cartoon of Scooby-Doo was called Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The first episode of Scooby-Doo ever aired was actually called What a Night for a Night. I remember seeing this episode in reruns. Of course, at the time, I wasn't aware it's the first episode. I do remember the villain was a Black Knight. I really didn't remember much else of the story, of course, being so long ago. So I did have to go ahead and look it up. And then as I was reading about this episode, I was like, oh, okay, I remember this story. I remember watching this. So for those of you who have not seen that first episode, it is actually well, there's a red herring. I don't know, that's a big thing in Scooby-Doo, the red herring, the one person you think it's going to be, and it's not. You're like, oh, I know it's that person. I know they're the ones who did it. And at the end, you're like, okay, I was wrong. It was not that person at all. The red herring in the first ever episode was actually a character called Professor Hyde White. He was actually missing, which is why they assumed he was the red herring or the villain. It actually turned out to be a character of the name of Mr. Wickles. He was actually the Black Knight. So just some trivia there on the first episode. I was actually able to find it on YouTube. Not the whole episode, it was just clips. And I was like, oh, okay, I remember watching this. Yes, Alexis, I did. I actually mentioned that on our first live that Casey Kasem, the person who voiced Shaggy, was a vegetarian, and he quit actually voicing Shaggy because he wanted him to do a Burger King commercial. So after some time, the people who were working on Scooby-Doo told him, hey, you want him to be a vegetarian? Okay, we're good for it. Let's do this. He was hired back with the lost my train of thought. With the clause in his contract that Shaggy will be a vegetarian, which he was. So what we're looking again is we're just looking for our matches, and like I mentioned, this part is going to be the hardest because it is all one color and these symbols are very light, so it's hard to actually find them that match. You know what, Monica? I don't think there's ever one where they didn't catch. But that's something I'm going to look up for our next live, and I'll get you that answer. See, here we have, I found our pizza. Yay. And I actually think I know where that is. That looks like it's going to be one of these two. I don't see pizza anywhere else, so I know this one's going to go somewhere on this side. So I'm just going to keep it facing this side so I know it's going to go somewhere over here. You and I are the same, Alexis. I am so forgetful. I'll put my keys down somewhere, and a minute later, my boyfriend will be like, hey, where are the keys? And I'm like, I just had them, but where did I leave them? So I'm there with you. So forgetful. And just a fun fact, I'm not really having to do with Scooby-Doo itself, but kind of like the mystery van. So in 2016, there was a lady in Redding, California. Her name was Sharon Kay. She actually decked her 1994 Chrysler Town and Country van to look like the mystery machine. While she's driving, she sees those lights behind us, the one thing we all dread while we're driving, right? And she was actually being pulled over because she was wanted on suspicion for violating parole. Well, she took them on a high-speed chase in the mystery machine. So they had it on the news, and it's hilarious because you're seeing the mystery machine going so fast, running away from the cops, and you're like, what? Scooby-Doo? What are you doing? So I thought that was kind of funny. I enjoyed that, especially watching it. It was very hard to find. If I can find it again, I'll try to go ahead and link it to this video. I'll try to find it again, but it was hilarious. You can look it up though. Again, it was in 2016 in Redding, California. I would have loved to have, or still would love to have, a car that looked like something like that, like the Mystery Machine or the Ghostbuster car, Back to the Future, the DeLorean, like any of those. I think it'd be so awesome to own a car like that. Like, yeah, that's my car. So we have found a few of our pieces. And like I mentioned earlier, again, I don't remember if it was in this one or the one we just did that I had to go ahead and stop for technical issues. But I do like to go ahead and find pairs, put them all to the side, and as we get more, then start creating our border. And once we get the border, this will actually go a lot faster because we're like, okay, we know where everything goes, and we can just start filling in the middle. So here we have an edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my guide. I'm going to see, okay, where do I see this? So I can see the star and the little talk bubble here in this corner. So I know it's going to be somewhere over here. It's not going to connect to this one because if we see, it just isn't going to go ahead and fit correctly. But I know it's going to go somewhere here. So I'm going to put it there to kind of guide myself to know this is this edge. Me too, Alexis. I am like Dory as well. I hate it sometimes. I really wish I had that mind that's like, oh yeah, I can remember that. But I guess I have selective memory because things I like and things I enjoy, I can remember it like that. I really love history, So there's lots of history facts that I can remember on a dime. But then if you ask me any math question, like, hey, do you like my son or my daughter, they're taking algebra and they'll ask me, hey, do you know this equation? Or hey, do you remember how to do this? And I'm like, no, but why don't we FaceTime your aunt? Because I do not remember. I remember learning it, but I don't remember anything else about it. Really awful at math. And like, I guess that's a thing for a lot of us. If we really enjoy something, we'll remember everything about it. And those things that just don't interest us, or we're just like, nope. Can we have another pair? Like, nope, not going to remember. Ask me something else. Also, if any of y'all have any ideas of any puzzles you'd want me to see me do, I know Monica asked about the 3D puzzles, and I actually did find a few. I found the Hogwarts castle that I'm super excited. It's a little pricey, so I am going to go ahead and save for it. But once I get it, I am for sure going to build that on here. I love Harry Potter. I'm a Harry Potter fan. So that's what I'm very excited about. I also did get a suggestion for an Abraham Lincoln puzzle. I am obsessed with Abraham Lincoln. He's my favorite president, and not just because of his politics, but I thought he was a very good-looking gentleman, so he's one of my favorites. So I actually did get a link for one of those puzzles, and that is going on my wish list on Amazon. So I'm excited about that one as well. And again, with our puzzles, if we think something's gonna fit, we don't wanna like jam it in there, push it in, because it's gonna warp the puzzle. We don't wanna go ahead and warp the puzzle because it'll damage it and you won't get that nice flushed look at the end. I'm not gonna lie, like today I was doing a few things at my desk for work. I moved some of the puzzle pieces. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they didn't fall because my dog's gonna eat them. Because my dog thinks these puzzle pieces are crackers and they're not. She doesn't get it. So I'm really hoping I didn't drop any of them. I hate at the end of the puzzle where you've completed it all and you're like, ah, you feel so accomplished and it's great. And then I lose a piece and you're missing that one piece. Yes, Stacy, that's why you are here. Alexis, I have seen those 25,000 piece puzzles and they are intimidating. This is just 1,000 piece and I'm like, okay, this border is taking longer than I would like it to. So, but I would really like to work up to one of those puzzles. I really kind of want to get my puzzle skills on point so I can I see people do like those 25,000 piece puzzles in like 2 days. I'm like, wow, that will take me like a week to complete. So, but I do want to get there eventually. I have not used that puzzle glue, Monica. I guess because I like to take them apart and then do them again. I am gonna actually though do a review on some puzzle glue I found. Not on this puzzle. I actually have a smaller puzzle that I can work rather quickly on, so I can go ahead and do the review on. So I'm excited about that because I've never used puzzle glue. So seeing it in the stores and I see people use it all the time, I did want to go ahead and try it out, see if I like it. I know my daughter has a puzzle of Hero Academia. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. I would like to redo that puzzle with puzzle glue and hang it up for her. Put it in a frame and hang it up. So I am going to go ahead and look into that puzzle glue. And as you see, like as you're looking at these pieces, they kind of just come to you and you kind of just start getting your, well, you find the pair and you find the match, especially you see this one, we started off with 2, now we have 3. So as you're working, you kind of see, oh, okay, I think this one goes here, or I think this one goes there. So it's good to just kind of just keep working the puzzle because then you'll see it. You're like, oh, okay, I see where that goes. This one I really think it's part of the pizza, but maybe it's not. When I got this puzzle, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so easy. It has such bright colors. It's going to be easy to just pick it, put everything together. I love Scooby-Doo, so I'm going to do this as my first puzzle for my channel. I didn't take into consideration all the yellow. I was just looking at the middle. I was like, I didn't even think of this. But challenge accepted, and I will go ahead and I'm going to complete it. A lot of the times with these bigger puzzles, I look at the edge pieces and I'm like, is this all? Am I missing something? Because you expect it to be bigger or more pieces, not bigger, but more pieces. So I'm looking at this thinking, I really hope I hope there's no more edge pieces in my yellow pieces or in my box of other. I did go through it twice, so I'm really hoping I didn't miss any. Okay, let's go back to some more Scooby-Doo trivia. So we all know that they do travel in the Mystery Machine, but does anyone know who actually owns the Mystery Machine? They don't own the Mystery Machine. It's actually Daphne's father who owns that Mystery Machine. That one I didn't know. I didn't know that he owned it. I don't know why I thought that it belonged to Shaggy for some reason. So when I read that, I was like, oh, really? Okay. That's something I didn't know. What I like to do before my next video is I will actually already have everything done. And then I'm actually going to try to do all the yellow pieces before we meet back again, just so we can kind of get into the fun part. You know, like the people, the monsters. So I'm going to try to do all this before next week. I will be going live next week again with no technical issues. So I do apologize for that. I don't know what happened. We were getting an echo, then we were getting no audio at all. So it was crazy. But I guess that's what happens when you go live, right? So I have this hot dog. I don't see a pair to it, so I'm going to put it up to the side. See, then we have lots of these are just empty spaces. These are going to be the hardest to kind of see where they go. I don't really see anything that it'll connect to or it matches to. those will take the longest to try to find or connect them in. Here we have another boo. So see, you kind of think you know where it goes, and nope, doesn't go there. Then you try to see, is there anything else that kind of looks like this? You try to make the match. So we are coming up to half an hour. I try not to keep y'all online for more than half an hour. Don't want to keep y'all here any longer. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I will, like I said, have my already edge done before we meet again. I might actually do a video sped up of me doing the edge and the yellow pieces. So when we come back, we can go ahead and start on our Scooby-Doo characters and our villains, which I'm super excited. I'm really excited to get into this. I really enjoy vibrant colors, so I'm really happy about that. So thank you so much for joining me all today. I hope you all had a great time. And again, sorry for those technical issues. I'll make sure everything is ironed out by next week. Again, have a great night, and thank you so much for joining me.